Also, like, just like some general thoughts about the world. I don't know if you guys agree, but like, dude, shit right now is just too toxic, bro. Like, and it sucks because like the toxic, like, angry things is what gets views, you know, as well. So like I was just watching YouTube recommended, and it was like a bunch of things that was dude, like a bunch of Among Us and stuff like that is so annoying. Like it's mostly just Among Us stuff, but like it sucks that it's entertaining in general as well. And like anytime I open like any social media, everything is just like so polarizing. No one wants to take like a mid-ground on anything. Everything is either like black and white, wrong or right. That's it. So dumb. Like, I remember when there was a time that it wasn't like that, you know? Like, COVID in like 2020 is so fucked up. Like, honestly, it's so annoying. Like, dude, I literally can't just, like, I see a meme on Facebook followed by like F this, F that, you know? It's like, dude, can we just be like human beings for a little bit, dude? And like, do we have to bash each other every time? Social dilemma, no. I put it to a watch list. If I had to guess what that's about though, it's like, this is like what COVID I think has kind of shown us is like, we're getting into, let me move this really quick so you guys can actually see chat. It's like, we're all, well, there's been things about this. Yeah, I was going to say like, we're all connected more, but we're also like more disconnected, right? At the same time. And it sucks. Like, dude, okay, here, let me paint you this picture, dude. All right. So back, how long ago would this have been? So I was born in 93. So if I was like 12, what it'd be like 2015? No way. I'm so bad at math. Yeah, 2005. What the hell am I thinking? Radical centralism? Well, this is a thing though too. And before I go into what I was going to say, it's like everyone has to feel like they have to pick a side on something, and people can't be reasonable. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, everything's black. Like, I love black and white because it's easy to say this and that, but people will be like, I don't want to get into the political too much, but it's like, oh, you're a red or you're a blue. Like, oh, well, you're a piece of shit because that's something that you like. You have to identify yourself, and then you're judged based off of that identification. But it's like not cool to be like, oh, well, I kind of agree with this side. I kind of agree with that side. I don't know. I'm kind of like in between. I see this good here. I see the bad there. I see the good here. The second that you say, oh, I see the good here, they're like, oh, well, so you like, you're for this. It's like, no. I'm just saying, like, I see the levels here. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that should be okay. Limit your worldview. Yeah, and how the radical, like, sorry, not radical, but like how the algorithm puts your content that you want to see in your little bubble. You know what I mean? So, anyways, so let me go back to this picture that I was painting. So, I was living with my parents because I was obviously like young. I was probably like 14, right? And at the time, I was playing like a lot of like Warcraft 3. What else was I playing? I think that was like my game. That was the shit. Because I didn't have like I was using my dad's computer. It was really shit. Like, it was a little garbage. And so I remember playing, and online, like, people are so toxic, and they enjoy the what is the word? Anonymity or something like that, like where they're anonymous, right? So they feel like they can say whatever. And I always thought it was weird. Like, to me, like, the person that you are online should be the person who you are, right? But like, there was such a big separation of like, oh, well, you know, this is who I am in real life, but online, you know, I'm an asshole, I'm this and that. And dude, honestly, like, I never thought that way, and I always thought that was so strange. And throughout like my gaming and like just things in general, I always thought that was the weirdest thing, that people were like that, and I still am, you know, to an extent. It's not as anonymous now because, you know, social media, and there's not like forms that you just sign up and you don't have to put your real name. It's like you have, if you have a Facebook, they're gonna see your name and who you are, who, you know, all that, you know. And like I noticed with I mean, things are still like that kind of, but there's not as much anonymous things. But like now, one thing I've seen, and we've all seen in the past couple years, is like, dude, Twitter and people getting canceled for like tweets that they made years ago. But at that time, people were doing that. They were like, oh well, I still hear people say, oh well, my Twitter personality is different than my real personality, and then now people are making like alternate Twitter accounts and shit. I'm like, dude, just be a good person and stop spreading negativity for a second, and understand that the person that you are should be who you are anytime. Like, it's the whole thought of like do the right thing when no one's watching, right? Like, if no one's watching, just do the right thing because it's the right thing to do, you know. And it's like, well, I feel like I can say this because I can separate myself from that username or that profile picture or that fake account or whatever. But it's like, it's just so exhausting, dude. And like with this whole election, and like I feel like I was a little nervous personally. Like, I'm definitely an independent, like voted like, not that I shouldn't even have to say that, to be honest with you, but obviously I have to. I feel like like I'm an independent, and I am registered that way, and I vote that way. I vote for who I think the right candidate is. And I remember when Trump was getting elected, I was like kind of low-key nervous, like not for him blowing something up or like anything crazy like that, but you know, he was kind of a character, and like everyone was so against it. And this is kind of like the era where like it was okay to well, I don't know. I don't know. I wasn't really involved in politics until like I would say this election, and I was really involved. Like Obama, I didn't really know much about his policies or anything like that. So anyway, like I was like apprehensive, and I remember I was sitting in my house. I actually do remember this really well. I was sitting in my house, and I was like in my room on my computer. Was it this desk? I think it was. It might have been. And I was like, I just remember thinking, damn, like what's gonna happen now that Trump was elected? And there was just like this apprehensive, like this like weird, like I don't know, you know, like I really didn't know, like I didn't feel a certain way about it, this or that. I was just like, I don't know, man. Like everyone's gonna say he's gonna blow up the world and this and that, and then like dude, the last 4 years, man, like, and I'm sure like this is kind of polarizing to people, and I wish it wasn't, but it's like things have been okay, you know, things have been okay. Like no president's perfect. Again, I wasn't into politics back then, but it's just like, dude, like it's been so exhausting is probably the best word politically. And it's like, and again, I'm not even like, it doesn't matter who I'm affiliated. I shouldn't even have to say that. All I'm saying is like, it's just exhausting, man. Like, can we just get back to being human beings with each other? And this whole last 4 years has been like, dude, I know I might sound like frustrated more than I am. The reason why I sound that way, to be really frank with everyone, is I'm just, dude, I hate having to pick my words and being worried about the outcome of my words. Like in general, but especially streaming now, because there's like a certain see, again, and this is why it's so annoying. That's like there's a certain way that you should be, and it's just exhausting. And I'm not even saying anything like, I don't feel like I'm saying anything polarizing, and I feel like I look at it on all sides, but it's like I have to be so careful about how I say things, because someone's gonna take, not like that clip, but take where they think I'm coming from and force me into a box of being X, Y, or Z, right? That black or white situation. And it's like, dude, maybe it's always been like this, and maybe it's just an age thing, but it's just exhausting, man. Like, we should just all treat each other like we're people, because we are, you know, if you believe it or not. And like seeing the political and then like the, you know, back and forth angriness every day, it gets to you a little bit. And I think with COVID, like now that we're all at home, you know, it's like this is how we interact and see things. Like we don't see people as much, so it just is exhausting, you know. I hate it. I really do hate it. I really do hate it. And everyone has a justification for doing a thing a certain way, or, you know, feeling like it's okay that like people die. And I feel like when I say that, I think of people saying, well, so-and-so, when such and such happened, no one cared that people wanted them to die, or, you know, whatever. It's like, well, A, I don't know if that's a real thing, and B, I wouldn't be okay with that either. Here's a hot take. When you're putting yourself out to the public, you have to lean left. If you lean right, you'll get tons of shit. I think it's both sides. But see, but that's my point. I'm not even saying, I'm not saying a side. I'm saying everyone. That's my point. Like, and I know I agree with you. What's up, King? It's just like, it shouldn't have to be a side. We should treat each other as equals, and we should treat each other in things and situations as they come, not with these massive biases, bro. It's so, it's just. Okay, and I'll say this. Like, this is what I'll say, and this is what, like, John's right to an extent, is that, let me preface this, honestly. I am genuinely nervous on things, especially in this website and being a streamer. No, I'm not even obviously, I'm literally not even a popular streamer. No one even knows me. Like, that's fine. Like, I'm not a cool person or anything like that. But what I'm saying is that there are the community that moderates and runs this website have views that if your views are different than theirs or sound like they're different, you might not get banned, dude. You might not have anything bad happen to you, per se. But there's a chance, like, shadow banning is a thing. You know, you can make it so they're not as recommended. And it makes me apprehensive to say how I feel about things sometimes, you know? And, like, let me just put this in perspective, too. Like, imagine that out of just happenstance, dude, a Twitch moderator or whatever, just happenstance, my guy, like, just happens to run across the channel. Again, I'm not big, so low chance, but I'm just saying, the chance that happens, and I say one thing that they're like, wow, dude, I could get shadow banned just for that, you know? So, like, I just don't like, I think that, I don't see, in anything that I feel like I want to say, I feel like is going to be taken to a red or a blue side, or a with or against us side, you know what I mean? But it's like, independent speech feels like it's kind of law, or like free, like, look, everyone can say anything, but it's like the ramifications of things that you can say, whether or not they're right, but depending on how they sound, or like, even if you're thought out, you could land in a really bad place, you know? Yeah, the music industry, yeah, that's a great point. I mean, it's like the music industry, or like the entertainment industry as a whole, you know? And that's why it's like, you know, Joe Rogan's talked about it a couple times, like, that's where I guess my point is like, that's where I feel tired, you know? Like, that's where I feel tired, man. And you know, we talk about it in this such a micro scale, and I'm saying, like, you know, Twitch specifically, well, sorry, this website that we happen to all be on, but like, it seeps into everything, dude. It seeps into everything. And then, okay, here's another example. I'm going on a rant, but I just kind of want to talk about it just because I feel like talking about it. And I feel like I should be able to talk what I want to talk about, as long as you guys don't think it's boring. But, like, okay, here's an example. So, toothpaste think about when you use toothpaste, right? Apparently, you don't have to put your whole toothpaste paste on the toothbrush. You just put a little dab. You're only supposed to put a little dab. But we all seen commercials that have them putting the whole fucking thing and it all looks nice and whatever. So like, I don't know, man. No one taught me how to do. No one was like, here's the correct amount of toothpaste you put on, right? My parents didn't teach me that for whatever reason. So like, that's just what I did, you know? And like, in general, I feel like that's how it is now. Like, everyone, the minority, majority, anyone sees what's happening out there and they're like, oh, I should feel this way or I should be this way. And as people start getting into that mindset, then it starts seeping into, let's say, a CEO of a mid-sized company, right? So we're not talking about like Amazon or something crazy, but a CEO or even a high up or like someone that manages, I don't know, like 100, 200, 300 people, right? If they see that and they feel like, oh, this is how things should be and how I should act or we should act in general, then they're going to influence everyone else below them to feel the same way. And it's so disingenuous, dude. And it really doesn't have to be. Like, I think that everyone has inherent value as a person. I think that everyone's opinion is genuinely important and should be respected. I think that we're all raised in a different way. We all were born in a different circumstance. Like, we're all, at the end of the day, valuable people. Or as a person, you are valuable. As a person, I'm valuable. And the beliefs and things that we have are all valuable. Now, some people might, and this is where it gets a little hairy, like, some people might think that their opinion is more valuable than someone else's, and I would disagree. And then you ask, well, what if their opinion is wrong? And if their opinion is wrong, I think you think that, and I don't think that's necessarily true. And there's been plenty of times, bro. There's been so many times. I'm sure there's been so many times. I know there's been times, but I'm sure there's been so many times where I felt a certain way strongly, and I've been wrong. And I think the other thing is, like, not only are we combating each other on their beliefs and values, but then we're saying, like, there's no conversation anymore. It's, okay, well, fuck you then. Okay, if you think that, you're stupid. Okay, you want to think that? That's your opinion. It's like, why don't we just take a step back and say, why do you think that? And let's have a conversation and an open dialogue about it, rather than just yelling at each other, dude. Like, I feel like 2020 is some bullshit like that. I feel like, in general, the last couple years have been like that. Let me go back to chat. I keep losing my train of thought sometimes when I read it, so I'm trying. Think that there's probably worry that you're small now and it grows. Yeah, man, that too. And that's why I feel like I just have to be really careful. And I've learned as, I think, a person, that the things that you tend to, like, you're making a habit, right? So if I make it a habit to not put myself in that area where I might, like, potentially say something wrong now, I'll protect myself in the future, if there is a future there, and I would love if there was. But also, like, there's still that one little chance. You know, there's still that chance that something could happen. Gotta think for yourself, use critical thinking. Yeah. But I think there's something to be said too about that. So I think that sometimes when you're pointing the finger, you gotta look at the fingers you're pointing back at yourself, you know? And so people will say, like, you gotta think for yourself. And I'm just using your phrasing, and it's not you or anything, of course. But I'm just saying, like, they'll be like, you gotta think for yourself, man. Like, you're just being out there like everyone else. You're so wrong for your opinion. And they're not taking a step back and saying, why is that person's opinion what it is? And why do I have the opinion that I have? And am I willing for my opinion to change? And I would say that's arguably one of the biggest ones. are you willing to have your opinion changed, or are you so steadfast that when you're hit with something different than how you feel or how you think, that you just say, that's bullshit. Oh, you're just like the rest of them. You know what I mean? Yeah. No. But I know that that's what you're saying, but I'm saying that it's almost like it's also some meta shit. It's also to a point where it's like the people that are calling the sheep, or people that are calling people sheep, are also sheep. They're literally a sheep calling sheep. And if you took the approach that I'm genuinely feeling and saying, if you looked at each individual opinion, thought, where people are coming from, if you took it as an individual basis, you would take the time to listen and not just be like, you're in this group. Well, it's okay, but you're wrong. Or like, I don't know. There's just a lot of angst. But I guess my point is saying, like, it's almost it's almost like hypocritical. The same people that say that, say the same thing. Yeah. No. And I'm saying, I know we're agreeing, but it's just such a weird fucking time that we live in, dude. It's such a weird fucking time, dude. Like, remember when YouTube came out? Remember when Facebook... Dude, remember when MySpace came out? Dude, what the fuck were we... what were we concerned about? We were concerned about our top 8. We were concerned about how many friends we had on MySpace. And maybe it's like a generational thing, but, bro, I'll tell you this. I didn't think about politics on MySpace, and I'm not saying we shouldn't think about it, but it didn't feel as polarizing. The only time it was polarizing was when my best friend wasn't number 1 and I wasn't his number 1, so I put his ass on number 3. You know what I mean? And now it's just so weird, man. It's just so weird, and I hate it. I just hate that we're not treating people like people. I guess that's where it comes from. And everyone has to be a certain thing, and like, everyone's saying like, oh, well, I'm trying to say not specific words, but they'll put them in a group, and then that's the group forever. And I think people are, yeah. I'm just thinking of like all my, not all my friends, but there's some of my friends who swing like really hard left or right, you know what I mean? And like and also there's a time and place for everything. Like, listen, dude. No one really wants... Anyone that's not a conspiracy theorist doesn't want to fucking hear about conspiracies at the dinner table. You know what I mean? No one wants to have that uncle at the table at Thanksgiving that won't shut the fuck up about some conspiracy, whatever that is. You know what I mean? But people want to interject their belief so hard anytime that they can. Like, dude, there's a friend of mine, like not a good friend, but we're friends on Facebook, so that's something, right? And they're just bashing one of these sides, right? And then this friend posts what was it, like a story on a social media. I'm trying to like stay as anonymous here as I can for them. Post something about, post a screenshot from a Zoom meeting from their class that they were having, where they were pushing their one belief and telling everyone else pretty much to get fucked. On a classroom Zoom meeting. Bro, what? Like, dude. Like, it's okay. You're allowed, and you are not allowed. That's a bad word. You have the right to have an opinion, but damn, dude, there's a time and place, you know? And it's the people that don't know this time and place that, I don't know, it gets murky, but I'm just saying, like, can we just stop for a second, dude? I'm just trying to fucking learn some algebra. Like, I'm not trying to get in this political thing. And you're thinking, well, damn, Austin, you're sitting here complaining, bro, and you're doing the same shit, and it's like, true, but I guess I technically am getting I think I'm getting the okay because no one said shut the fuck up yet. They're thinking it. You guys are thinking it, but the people who talks first, yeah. And that's the thing too. Like everyone that has an opinion, everyone. So I think that everyone forgets about the. There's a lot of people out there that have opinions that know they're. I'm trying to think of a way to say this the best way. They know that there's people that have an opinions that just don't state them, okay? And if you're an opinion, whatever side or left or right or up or down or blue or green or any side, think about any situation. If every time you see that person or hear that person or whatever, they're just literally shoving their belief of whatever that might be on you, you're just gonna get tired of it, bro. And you're just gonna be really annoyed at whatever that side is. Like, man, this one side, every time I hear about something, it's always about X. And you're like, holy shit, dude, like, stop, man. Can we talk about something else, dude? And that's what I'm saying. It's like, I never had this uncle, but I'm sure we can all relate. That fucking uncle at the dinner table, dude, like, bro, I know it's a conspiracy, bro. I know that it's crazy. Chemtrails are crazy. Just please stop. Please, dude. Every time I see you, I just want to talk about something normal, dude. How's your job been? They tell you about their job and they just start going to this conspiracy thing. And I'm just using it as an example. It's like, it's just exhausting, bro. Like, stop, please. Please, dude. Can we just hang out, man? Can we just be friends? Can you just be my uncle? Not creepy and not talking about shit that I don't care about. And even if I did, it's like at this point, it's like, dude, okay, like we get it, bro. Goes back to coming to the understanding yourself. Yeah, but I think one thing I've thought about a lot is like I've grown a lot. Like I don't think I've ever been in a spot like, dude, I think a lot about like my upbringing and how big of a piece of absolute shit I was growing up, dude. Like comparable, right? Everyone has like my I don't know, like whatever. To me, I was like a piece of shit, and I think I didn't treat people the best way. I think that I was really selfish. I think that there was a lot of people that I made their lives harder that I didn't need to. And like now I feel like I genuinely don't do those things. I try to be fair. I try to listen to people. I don't try to get angry with stuff. Yeah, you remember, like, yeah, and you've known me for what, 6 or 7 years. And like even then I've gotten people saying like how much that they feel like I've changed, sometimes for the worse, you know. But it's like my point, I guess, is that like sometimes like it is good to understand yourself, but it's also, I would say, good to understand that like you evolve, like as people, at least we should, I think, you know, not like human, not like science, but like as genuine people, as we grow up and go through experiences and learn what the fuck the world's about. Like, man, I'm at an age where it's like I feel like I know a lot, but then I know I don't know a lot. But I feel like a lot of people just assume that they are the knowledge central, you know? And that's where this whole thing comes back to. It's like we should treat, like, everyone's a different situation, and we should all try to improve as people, as human beings. And like one thing, dude, to be real honest with everyone, when I was growing up, my mom would always say the most annoying shit, dude. Every time. I was actually thinking about this a couple days ago. Here's an example of what happened. So I was walking back from my my grandpa's house. He's like a couple blocks down the road where we lived. And I was walking down on the sidewalk. Why does that matter? I don't know, but I was. And I'm just about to get to my driveway. And I'm walking on the left side of the sidewalk. Again, a lot of really important details here. So I see this $20 bill in the grass, dude. It's just chilling, bro. I'm like, hell fucking yeah, dude. I just scored. You know, I'm like, I don't know, probably 12. I keep going to 12, but I think I genuinely, like, it was around 12, you know. And I see this $20 bill, and I'm like, I'm like, hell yeah, dude. I don't know what I was gonna buy, but it's $20, dude. It's sick. So I get this $20 and I go inside, and I remember I think I put it in like an area I put some money that I normally find, or it is somewhere in my room or in my pocket. I don't remember. I think it was in my room. And my mom comes in my room like 15 minutes later, and she's like, hey, did you find $20? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, well, so-and-so is at the front door and wants the $20 back. And I remember being like, yo, that's bullshit. Dude, I found this $20, and maybe this is me in hindsight, but I like, was there actually someone that was there someone that actually lost $20 and then knew to come to our house to ask? Were they knocking to house for $20, dude? I don't know. But she was like, they want their $20 because it's theirs. And I go, but I found it. And she's like, yeah, but it's theirs, Austin. You need to give it to them because they're asking for it. And I'm like, no, that's not fair. Like, I found it in the grass. They lost it, and it's mine. Like, it is, what it is. And she goes, and this is the part I was getting to. She goes, well, Austin, it's the right thing to do. And, dude, like, I still, like, anything that I do, I always think about it. And I'll tell you this, it's also the most annoying phrase you could ever be, like, haunted by, Like, and it's, like, such minor things sometimes, but it's, like, I sit back and I'm like, fuck, like, what's the right thing to do? And then the right thing to do is 9 out of 10 times the harder thing to do, Like, oh, I could do this, or I could just be a piece of shit and do this. And I think about that a lot, man. Like, I guess my point is I wonder if people think like that at all. If they're just, like, thinking about their personal benefit and then just ignoring what the right thing to do, or do they not even care? And then, I mean, it can get all like philosophical and be like, what is the right thing to do? Because that's another question. Like, and I think that goes back to, like, our opinions and how we're treating others. Like, you might feel like you're doing the right thing, but a lot of times, like, you might not be right, and that sucks. And that's a hard fucking pill to swallow. If you're, like, having to reflect it, like, on your character as a person, am I doing the right thing? And to be able to step back from yourself and be like, yeah, maybe I'm not, So I think that we lack a lot of self-reflection in a general sense. And, I'm putting everyone in a box, but I think it's true. Like, a lot of people are quick to blame others and slow to accept blame on themselves, and it sucks, man. And that's why we have this polarizing atmosphere, it feels like. And I wonder, if everyone were to have that same mentality and that self-reflection, would we be so polarized, And, like, how hard is it to, like, just hear someone out on something, I don't know. What do you guys think? Am I just getting in the weeds on this now? I feel like I took it a little too far, but it's just how I feel about it. Yeah. But yeah, it's crazy out there, dude. Well, I think we should play something. Anyway, I think at the end of the day, dude, we just gotta treat people like people. Everyone has inherent value. Everyone's opinion is valid. And there's a reason why they have that opinion. Even if you think they're wrong. And even if somehow you could easily say their opinion is actually wrong. Maybe maybe there's something that you could show them that's different, No need to attack people about it. Well, that's a really cool aesthetic. Anyway, sorry. one day there won't be viruses and plagues and people screaming at each other. It'll be cool. It'll be dope. All right. Well, enough of that.